you mind if I just start with Marcus, because a lot of Man United fans will be concerned tonight after seeing him hobble off. Can you tell us what you know about that?
I only can say, yeah, that's the risk when you play in such a tight schedule. And yeah, 3 games in 6 days is too much. And yeah, the Premier League has to take that into account when you make the schedule.
I think you could still have 16 games to go in all competitions. Was it good at least to see Martial back today and a couple of other, like Christian Eriksen, for instance? Would that help?
Yeah, and Casemiro be back in the next game. So, of course, we are happy with that. What you see, we had a difficult start after the international break. We bounced back. It shows once again the big character of the team. Also that you can deliver this in the 3rd game in 6 days. There's a real credit to the team because it was a great performance, great entertaining football and a win. So yeah, I'm really happy with it.
First half, 21 shots, amazing really. Have we played better in a half this season than that?
We had some good games, I have to say. But we are happy when you are in the final stage of the season and the team is still improving. And that is the way I want to approach it. We have still a lot to win, but also a lot to win in a way of play. So we have to keep improving, and in the end, we want to gather more silverware.
When the goals aren't going in, are you slightly worried on the bench, or are you just still confident?
I'm confident, but of course, we have to be more clinical in such situations. And when you don't score, you know the opponent only need one chance, and we make one mistake, and they had a big chance on Coleman. But I think that is probably the only one chance they created in the whole game. So in and out of possession, great performance of our team.
Christian Eriksen came back and just brought a bit of control to the situation. Did that just shows how important he is to our team and the way we play?
For me, it's always that our talents, what he has, the potential is so nature. He's coming on and he's straight in the game because he's a footballer. He's born with a football on his feet and both feet. So he's so comfortable and he gives so much composure on our game.
And Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well coming back into the team today, and he seemed to enjoy himself at right back. Does that give you a nice selection dilemma?
Of course. Last week against Newcastle, he dropped out because of illness, and then Jogo coming in and played 2 really good games, and now Aaron, he deserved it and had this game. And there's a good competition, but we need players, we need squad in this stage of the season because we have many games to go.
And if we are missing Marcus, who knows? But it's great to see Anthony Martial come back and get on the goal straight away.
I don't want to set so quick that conclusion, but also Anthony Martial be back, returning, but we have to do it careful. Not too quick, especially not because we have so many games to play and also in a short notice. So he needs a recovery every time, and then he can go forward and go into the next game and be fit and fresh in the game. And that is what you need to score goals, but also do the work out and in possession.
Thanks a lot, Erik. Have a good week.
Wins this week for Manchester United, the best home defence as well in the league this season. Would that have been one of the first tasks and challenges Ten Hag had when he came here to improve that home form, Paul? Because the fear factor had gone. Yeah,
I'd gone a little bit. I think teams are probably finding it too easy to come here and score goals and win games. But I was a little bit surprised by that stat, to be honest with you. But look, you have to give them credit, and they've changed the back four quite a lot. You know, there hasn't always been a regular back four which you'd associate with a team doing really well.
There was 3 changes today just from Wednesday.
Yeah, well, I thought the manager got the team right today. I think he freshened it up from Wednesday. They obviously played at the weekend as well. Coming from Wednesday to a Saturday morning can be quite difficult, so he freshened it up perfectly well. And you know, you see how sharp they were. And look, we talk about goals. That really should have been a 5 or 6-0 game today to get them up towards them levels, but it wasn't, Leon. Luckily enough for you. But look, in better, more important games, you know, missing them chances might become more critical. But today, it was quite comfortable. It
was a quick turnaround, but it has been a very good week for Erik ten Hag. Let's hear from him with Des Kelly.
Erik, lots of good things we saw out there today, and a brilliant first half. But I suppose you're just happy to finish the job.
Yeah. We have to be more clinical, clear, more ruthless, box off the opponent. I think this game has to be already finished by half-time. We didn't, but as you say, it was a brilliant performance. And that's very good if you played 3 games in 6 days. and then you can deliver this. So there's a big compliment to the team.
That first half was the most shots that has been seen in the Premier League in any half, which is quite special, 21.
I think we played very good. I think in and out of possession. So big compliment to the team performance. And when many players on the pitch, they played in a high level.
And McTominay scored the goal, as he's been doing for Scotland. He's a player who always gives 100%.
He's a great player, great personality. So happy I have him in my squad. So give always energy, never giving up. So yeah, it's great.
And when you want to kill the game and get that second goal, it's handy to have Anthony Martial on the pitch.
Yeah, I think once again, players who are coming from the bench with us, having an impact, scoring goals, but also contribute in other departments of the team. But yeah, scoring goals, and we have many subs came on in this season so far who have an impact, score goals.
We talked about Bruno's position deeper in midfield before the match, but he was pulling the strings today, wasn't he?
No, I think he was brilliant, but I think he's already playing brilliant over many games in the deeper role. Not everyone is recognizing, but also even last week in Newcastle, he was playing very well. This week against Brentford, he was really well. And today, yeah, brilliant game. But I said he was definitely one of the best players, maybe the best player on the pitch. But I think we had more. We're in a quite high level.
Marcus Rashford, is he okay? He looked a little bit trouble coming off the pitch.
We have to wait. Doesn't look well. So once again, that is due to the shadow. It can't be that you play 3 games in 6 days, and we have to protect our players. And everyone wants that the best players are on the pitch. Everyone wants to see great, entertaining football like today. But then you need your best players.
You got a big step today. Grab that 3rd place for the time being. It's an important win, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a win and we have to move on. But of course, I'm happy when you are in April and you're playing on this level against an Everton. What's hard to beat is. We've seen it in the last weeks. It was a really strong team in the survival mode. They are doing a great job there. And if then you play on this level, so that's good to know. And that gives belief and confidence for the future.
Thank you very much, Erik.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Erik ten Hag talking about the schedule perhaps being responsible for that injury to Marcus Rashford. They've already played more games than anyone in Europe, and the schedule doesn't get any easier because they've still got another 6 games in April, Paul. It's tough, but I guess it's a big positive that they're still fighting on 3 fronts.
Exactly. If you want to be winning trophies, you're going to be playing games, and they have to be ready for that. He's got the squad in. Over the last year, he doesn't really use his squad that much, but I think over the last couple of weeks especially, he's started to realise that he needs it. You know, today they freshened up 3 or 4 positions and look really sharp again. And yeah, there's a lot of games to go, but we want games. You know, we want to be getting to finals of competitions, and that's what we're in this business for. That's what Man United are here for. They want to win trophies, and for this year, settling for the top 4 place as well is good enough.
Sevilla coming here on Thursday live on BT Sport. They've got Brighton in the FA Cup as well. That race for the top 4 still very much on, Leon. What else do you think they can achieve this season?
Well, they believe they can win both cup competitions and finish in the top 4 that remain, and it could be an absolutely fantastic season for Manchester United. As Paul said before, the injury to Marcus Rashford will be a concern with those huge cup games coming up. Sevilla here, a game where you need to come out and be positive, and you need your goal scorers to be at their very best, and he's been by far United's best player this season, so you don't want him missing in this crucial run-in. You don't want them missing in April, so they'll hope for the best. They'll hope that this is at best a touch of cramp, at worst, you know, a 10-day injury where maybe they'll get him back for the second leg if that's some sort of strain.
Yeah, he looked in some discomfort as he walked up the tunnel. Ten Hag said it didn't look good. And we spoke a lot before the game about their over-reliance on him, Joe. They've got to hope it's nothing serious.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look too serious, to be honest. When it's a groin, I think you can get away with things. And like Ozzy said, I think a 10-day injury, he'll be back for the second leg. But they've got to manage the squad. You know, Martial's a little bit fragile. Weghorst doesn't seem to be the answer in that number 9 position. And this is the crucial time of the season. Forget the first 6-7 months of the season. Come April and May, if you're competing for all these trophies, this is when you've got to perform. This is when you've got to be peaking. I think they've got enough bodies. I think they've got enough quality in the squad to compete on all three fronts. And I think from Marcus Rashford, I would just like to you just like to see him on the pitch all the time because he's so good at the moment. But it needs to be spread out. The games need to be spread out because like you said, Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday, there's so many important games for United, and they need to find that right balance.
Yeah, he does have Casemiro coming back as well from suspension, and Eriksen, of course, back in action today. Everton, though, a 2-0 defeat for them today and still very much in a relegation fight. Let's hear from Sean Dyche. He's joined Des.
Did get the goal. They had to wait 36 minutes, which is still incredible to say, the way that first 36 minutes went.
It was really, and it came in a move that was the opposite of where all the chances came from. It was when Everton was very well organised, and we've seen all these chances missed from one-on-one situations. But when we look at it here, you just see that there's no danger. Everton are well organised. It's nice, solid block. Marcus Rashford's trying to get through. He can't. And then, we've got a little few, balls going to and from. Ends with Sancho, who passes it in to Scott McTominay, who makes a really good run. But it was we expected a goal to come, but not from this situation. Everything is under control. Nothing is happening here. There's no danger. And then
I feel sorry, but I think that's poor. When you've got that amount of bodies around the ball, around the edge of the box, I think Sean Dyche should be getting in there and saying, have we not put a tackle in? Have we not come out? If you're in goal, surely you would be shouting at your defenders to do better there. Granted, it's a great finish from Manchester United. When you've got that many people around the ball, you'd be shouting, saying, get a tackle in, surely.
Absolutely, I agree with that. But when I say there's no danger, is they had it under control. So what it took was a really good pass from Sancho and a really good run from Scott McTominay. And then, of course, you can argue with the goalkeeper, should he have saved that? I probably would have been a little bit disappointed with conceding that. But it came from a move that we didn't expect that. We expected from one of them long balls. And again, you think about the number of chances that Manchester United they created in this game, the most ever apparently. And then the second goal is from a mistake by Coleman. We didn't expect it to happen like that. And 2-0 looks quite good, quite solid, at this point in the season. But you see, it's a nothing ball, and then it's a big mistake, by the way. But it's a good reaction by Rashford, and then when it gets to Martial, then he scores for the 12th time in his career against Everton in 16 games. But it's a bad mistake there, lack of concentration. And I think that, Sean Dyche would be very, very disappointed with that. But, he's got so many other worries.
I think that touch there, though, for Martial to take it away there, to take it away from Tarkowski, because if he takes a touch forward, I think he can slide in. So Martial hasn't played a lot of football, puts it across his body, and then he's got an easy tap in. But I completely agree, Rashford, unselfish in that moment, just passing it across, who's in a better position. And it's great because we've got a centre-forward scoring for Manchester United now other than Marcus Rashford, but it's timely, given he might be injured now with that potential groin.
Well, let's have a look at that. I mean, that is the negative of the day, potentially, for United, Karen.
Yeah, and look, he knew straight away. There's a great sprint in behind. You see he's trying to bring it down and touch. And he knew straight away, and I think he signalled and said, look, that's it. When you know that as a player, and he's a fast-twitch player, so he's so powerful, so quick. So those little tweaks he notices and feels it, and that is the only negative from today. Clean sheet, 2-0, going into Europe on Thursday, but that's not something that you want to see as a Manchester United fan.
It's a big negative. So I think it's about a month back, there was another scare with him. He was sprinting out and he kind of carried on. You're thinking, why is he carrying on? We've got all these games coming on. And then he was all right. We can hope that this is just, it's fatigue, short-term fatigue. But I have to say, it didn't look like it. And he's a big miss. Really, really big. Okay, the positive is you got Martial back, you got Eriksen back for the game on Thursday. You got Casemiro available, so you got players that can go in and dominate. But he's hard. He wasn't playing particularly well today. He missed too many chances. But this is a guy who's been scoring goals freely all the way throughout this season, and not having him available in the semi-final of the European Cup, that's a big blow. But we don't know. Let's wait. My fingers are crossed. I'm thinking positive.
You're the eternal optimist, Victor. We like 28 goals, of course, in all competitions for Marcus Rashford. He didn't need to score today. United did so without him. He's right about his squad. 21 goals Manchester United substitutes have contributed in all competitions over this season. But, a bit like Peter, he is worried about them not being ruthless and clinical enough today.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at Everton who are fighting relegation, but if you're looking at where you want to be for Manchester United, if you play a better team, you have to be putting them away because those chances are few and far between. So they've dominated the game, but it shouldn't take 29 chances for 2, and ultimately I'm saying both goals should have been defended better from Everton, really. So the other one, you have 5 1v1s in the first half, you have to put them away. And as you keep going on, you're playing better teams, those chances are not going to occur, so you've got to be more ruthless.
You mentioned Bruno Fernandes in that deeper role today. What it has done in the last 2 games is allow Marcel Sabitzer to play further upfield. 4 consecutive games he started in the Premier League for the first time. He's impressed you?
I really like the look of him. I think when you have midfield players who not only do their job as midfield players, but they also appear in the box and they get chances. They're in the right position to get the chances. That was the first time we saw. That was just at the beginning of the first half. This isn't the greatest to finish, but at least he's at the end of one. And it's, when you've got midfield players supporting, I mean, you can find a pass as well. I don't know why Bruno isn't taking his time here, but I'm just really impressed with this player. His energy levels are good. He's tough. He's not the biggest player. Physically, he's not very big, but he's a tough player. He's a great addition. He's on loan from Bayern Munich. He's on loan, and he's one of those players. I was a little bit, why are we signing him? Why do we bring him in now? Now I'm hoping that we'll sign him and he stays at Manchester United, because I think he's got all the ingredients of being a Man United player. And we know with Casemiro on his 2nd suspension now, that will be 7 games that he's missed. Christian Eriksen, the injuries that he's had, he's been out for a long time. This happens. This is football. You need quality players that can play and also obviously give the manager choices to mix it in and out and not play the same players every year. And I've been impressed by him. I think he's quite a good player.
And after that defeat against Newcastle, they had the 2 home games. They've won them both. They're into 3rd before Newcastle kick off shortly. And indeed Spurs at home to Brighton. With all these games and all these competitions, they've done their side of the bargain.
That's it. You want to do the early game, win it and get home and think it's over to you guys now. The pressure's off us, it's over to you. And I'd much rather be in Manchester United shoes, played the game, got the result, than people now that have got to play these 3 o'clock games, and every game there's something on them. But for them, it's a really good reaction from that Newcastle. Just also performance. Do you know what I mean? So going to the Europa League now, the quarter-final on Thursday, and they're putting themselves in the best possible opportunity. And I said at the start of the show, from where they were when we covered them when they lost to Brentford 4-0 away to where they are now, Manchester United fans, the manager and the players would have taken this with both hands if you'd have gone back to that time back then.
I'm just on this early kickoff. It's a difficult time to play. I have to say, I didn't like it at all. It's too early. You never get.
You like
not a morning guy.
You never really. And it's a weird thing to say, because in my days we used to train at 10:30. So it really, I mean, it was even later than what you normally. But it's just game day is so different. But when you get it done, and I agree with you, when you get it done and you get the 3 points, it's the best time to win, because you put the pressure on the guys that you're competing against. So, but when you haven't got it done, like Everton today, and Everton now have to sit and wait and sit and watch all their opponents. They're on 27 points. They could go below into the relegation zone by the end of today. That's terrible. They needed to do something today. They needed to get something to put some kind of pressure on the guys at the bottom, and they haven't done that. No. So for Man United, it's been brilliant. For Everton, it's not.
A tough afternoon, particularly tested in that first half, but you managed to stay in it for a long time.
Well, I think we're bringing a bit of resilience to what we do. A lot of it was self-inflicted, to be fair, first half. They're a good side, we know that, only lost 1 at home. That's a story in itself, but we're self-inflicted, getting done with straight balls and not tuning into the game quick enough. On the other hand, bailed ourselves out with some good last-ditch defending, some good last-ditch saves from Jordan when needed. And you're sort of in it. We have a golden chance at the end of the day, and you don't get many of them when you come to a place like this. And that might, by the way, have just changed the feel of what was going on.
Was it a high line that was the problem? They were just getting...
No, just their direct football. They just saw it quicker than we did. You know, the players that they've got there, they can mix and match the game. You know, they can play if they have to, but they can be direct and just straight balls. I mean, that's something that at this level of the market, you don't want to be getting done with straight balls.
Were you surprised to be in the game still after that many chances?
Well, like I say, it's a mixture of you want your keeper to make saves. It's his job. You want your centre halves to work hard, and they did. You want to work last ditch when you have to, because you do at places like this, and we did. So it's one of them. You don't want that to happen generally, but when it needs to happen, then it happened. And you know, we were in it to at least scramble. Then the second half, we calmed the game down better. We created a few moments which could have, you know, our challenge is to still ask more, of course, in the goal scoring department and the chance creation, which we've done better. And then it's finding the final moments, and they did with it's a slight mistake, but they react quickly and finish for the second, and then, you know, your chance of getting back into it then is slim.
So now the fight goes on, it's going to go on to the wire, isn't it?
Well, it's just, we haven't changed the fight. The fight's there for all to see. It's about our mentality, and I think it's been growing. I think it's a reminder of the truth of what's in front of you when you're playing these top sides today. You know, that's just a reality of the game. We've had 3 tough games, and we've got 2 points out of it. Doesn't sound a lot, but, you know, that's a fair return in the manner in which we've got them points. Today was a bit of a soft one. Today's where it's a clear reminder of we've got to do all the basics right, constantly through a game. Too many mistakes, too many turnovers, when we could have affected the game and we didn't.
Thanks very much, Sean.
Thank you.
Yeah, a difficult day for Everton and Sean Dyche, ending that 4-match unbeaten run. How damaging do you think it is, Leon, the manner of the defeat today?
I don't think it'll be too damaging, to be honest. I think you knew they were coming to Old Trafford, a historically difficult fixture and venue for Everton, a team that have only lost 1-0 all season. They don't concede many goals. Everton can't score many goals. So they knew what kind of challenge was ahead, and he's right. They tried to stay in the game, conceded a lot of opportunities in that first half, but you can see when players are still with the manager that they are trying to make those last-ditch challenges. They are trying to get back. They are putting their bodies on the line to not concede. So the squad's definitely behind him, and they'll try and move forward. A big home game next week against Fulham, and that's a game that they'll really go after to try and get all 3 points.
What do you think of their survival chances with the lack of threat that they have up front, Joel?
I think it's going to all come down to how they do it. Goodison, it's a tough place to play, even when they're not playing well. Everton, they'll make it difficult for you. Again, I don't think this is too much alarming for Sean Dyche. I think, you know, like you said before the game, he would have chalked this one down to if we get something, fantastic. But next week against Fulham, they have to be on it, and Goodison should be rocking. And if they get 3 points, I think it's going to go down to goal difference. You know, so I think all these little moments in games where they don't get beat 4, 5, 6-0, I think it could go down to the wire. And I think he just speaks so matter-of-factly about Sean Dyche. He's so experienced, and I think he'll be the difference. I think Everton will just about stay out by the skin of their teeth.
They've just got 4 home games left in their fight for survival. They've still got Manchester City to play at home. They've still got Newcastle at home as well. They can't just rely on home points, Leon. They're going to have to start picking up some points on the road somewhere.
They are, but it doesn't look likely. And after today's performance, I was a little bit disappointed. I mean, I think Sean will be disappointed with the performance as well. Everton, you expect them to come and be a little bit more rigid, a little bit more organised, but they seem so easy to play against. Even Sean Dyche's team, Burnley teams, they come in, they make it very difficult for you. But it was so easy today, and they didn't really stop things. You think we talked about Bruno. Absolute masterclass today. They never tried to stop that, which is a little bit surprising for me.
I think they did in the second half. I think in the first half, as I said, Everton went 2 up front, tried to be aggressive, and United were clever. They just played round it. They went over the top. They beat Everton's pressing, so you didn't even notice Everton were pressing. Yeah. And at half-time, he changed it and went with an extra body in midfield. Made it more difficult for United. It was less free-flowing, and chances were created less for Manchester United, but that just meant Everton couldn't get near Manchester United's goal. And it's difficult to try and find the balance when there's nobody in your team that can get a goal out.
Position MRBEAR. Alors que se passe-t-il? Le buteur Hakim Ziyech est resté au sol.